So I think I probably read some books when I was a student. My degree at the time was in economics, so the main thing that taught me was that I didn't want to be an economist. And so after I graduated, I left the UK and I spent some time just doing bits and bobs, volunteering here and there, doing organic farming. And as part of that, I was volunteering at a Buddhist centre in Spain. And that was where I first really sat down to formally meditate. And at the time, I had the sense that it was something so valuable. It grabbed my enthusiasm so much. But at that time, the Lama who was teaching me, he told me good meditators should keep 5 precepts. The first one, not to kill, and then not to steal, not to do any kind of sexual misconduct, not to lie, and then not to take intoxicants. So at that time, my 23-year-old self could accept the first 4 precepts, but was a bit reluctant to accept the one about no intoxicants. So it took me a further couple of years, I think, until I was really bored enough with the world and with worldly pleasures to want to dedicate myself to meditation full time. But those first experiences in that retreat centre in Spain, I never forgot. So as part of that same chapter in my life where I was volunteering and trying different things, I spent some time working for a Sri Lankan charity in Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka is a Buddhist country, so I was meditating a bit more often, going to like weekly meditation groups. And at that time I was quite dissatisfied with my life. I really didn't know what to do. And at one time my dad came to visit me, and so I was speaking to him about that and what should I do with my life. And I said to him, maybe I should go back and study something else, something that I actually care about. Or maybe I should sell out and go and get a corporate job and earn lots of money, and I'll hate it, but at least I'll have lots of money. Or maybe I should meditate. And my dad at that time, in his great wisdom, said to me, you know what, Beth, there's no challenge for you in going and studying something else, and there's no challenge for you in earning money either, so I think you'd better meditate. And I thought, darn, he's right. And so when I finished that time in Sri Lanka, I started to look for somewhere where I could meditate full time. And through a process of trial and error and word of mouth, I ended up at the monastery that I ordained at. And when I arrived there, I was so inspired by the teachers, so inspired by the other meditators, that I decided to stay and I decided to ordain. And I made the determination, I will stay here until I have learned what they're teaching. Yeah, I really loved being a nun. I think when I die, I will remember that time of my life as the best years of my life. One of the best things about being a nun is having so much time to meditate. It's like all day, every day, just for meditation. At that time, I was so enthusiastic and there was so much to learn, and I was surrounded by these people who were doing such incredible things with their mind. And I just wanted to learn how to do that too. And I had great teachers. So another one of the massive benefits of ordained life is being surrounded by so many great people, so many wise people. It's inspiration all over the place. And so for me, yeah, it was a really beautiful few years of my life. And there were a few downsides, like oily noodles for breakfast every morning, or lots of mosquitoes, and the rainy season is very rainy, but overall, yeah, it was wonderful, a real gift. Yeah, that's for me a much more difficult question to answer, because I was really happy as a nun. But I think in my case, I'm very addicted to growth and learning and new challenges. And after 10 years of being a nun, it had come to the point where there wasn't much challenge. I was surrounded by people who agreed with me and loved me, in a very safe and samey context. And I felt like I had a lot more learning to do outside of that context. Another big part was that when I was a nun, almost everybody who I met was relating to me primarily as a nun. And so the types of conversations I was having with people were usually the same. The way that people were seeing me was the same. And so the way that I would respond would be the same. And one of the greatest things I've learned since I've disrobed is all of these new sides of myself that come out in relation to different people. And through that I learned so much about myself, and it helps my meditation practice to go deeper. And I got what I wished for. So since I've disrobed, there's been loads of challenges, difficult people and difficult situations. And I also see that it helps to make my mind stronger, helps to build really good qualities of mind that, again, in the long run, it helps my meditation practice to be deeper. I would say I'm quite ambitious by nature, so I've got loads and loads of hopes and aims for the future. The main one, of course, is to keep on deepening my own Dharma practice, my own meditation practice, and learning and growing. And then second to that, also helping other people along their paths to guide them to deeper states of peace and clarity. I'd also love to build a permanent meditation community in the West where anyone can come and practice for as long as they like in the company of other meditators. Alongside that, I'd love to revolutionize modern science and help them to learn a little bit more about what it is possible to observe with these deep states of samadhi, especially the causal relationships between materiality and mentality. I think scientists could learn a lot. So if you happen to know any scientists who might be willing to listen to me, then please let me know. And also I would like to build gift economies, donation-led economies, where people are contributing according to their ability and taking according to their need. Having lived in a system like that for such a long time and experienced the benefits, I feel like we need more of that in the West. So that's another thing amongst many that I would like to do within this lifetime.